Yo, what is going on guys, Alien ESP here, back with another video. As you can see, we've got a different camera setup, a different background. I'm just trying some stuff out. I've also got a different kind of video here. Today I'm going over the cards I'll be sending to the graded gem middleman service, who will then middleman my cards to PSA to get graded. I'm extremely excited about this video. I've got some awesome cards here which I hope you guys are going to love. I sure do love them. Grading cards has always been something I'm a fan of. I've got a few graded cards in my collection. They're quite valuable. I'd love to show you them, but I don't have them with me. I'll probably do a video in the future. So if you want to see that, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like on this video, and also, to comment what you think of the cards which I'm sending. I know a lot of people are scared of sending their cards away, which I kinda get. There's that whole thing, oh, my cards might get lost. With me, I'm using a trusted middleman service, graded gem, one of, if not the best in the scene. I'm not affiliated with them. They haven't paid me to do this video or anything. I'm just doing it out of my own interest. I'm telling you about them because, I found about them through the Randolph Pokemon channel. I know he's sponsored by them, so it's kind of different for me, but I'm just passing on the word of them because they've really helped me out. They've made me grading my cards so much easier, because if I wanted to send my cards straight to America, it's going to be quite expensive with insurance. Sending there in general, and then dealing with USPS is quite annoying these days anyway. Yeah, without further ado, let's go right into the cards I'm sending. Let's go, baby. So here are the cards I'm getting graded, a nice stack. I won't be sending all these at one time since they'll be quite costly, but I'll be sending a good few at a time. But yeah, let's just get into it. I've got them back to front. So the first card is the Pikachu character card secret rare from Cosmic Eclipse. This card is honestly insane. I love it so much. Just seeing Pikachu getting selected by its trainer there is so cool. The grade I think this card will get is probably a 9. As you can see in the top left there, I don't know if the camera's going to focus on it, there you go. There's a bit of a white defect there, and that's definitely going to devalue the card, the grade, sorry. Thus devaluing the card, because the higher the grade, the more money that card is worth. 10 being the best, 1 being the lowest grade you can get. If you guys don't know how to grade your cards, let me know in the comments. I might do a video in the future explaining it all, because it can be quite a complicated process. But there you go, that is the first card from this submission. Let's get into the next one. The next one is, okay, that's a very nice one. The Full Art Tag Team Raichu and Alolan Raichu GX. Now this card is honestly so good. I love Raichu, I love both its forms. Here's the back of the card. As you can see, centering is pretty good. The right is the tiniest bit thicker than the left, but I still believe that is in the 60-40 range, which is what you need for PSA 10. There aren't any defects in the corners of this card, unlike the Pikachu which I just showed you, and that is why I believe that this card will get a PSA 10 once I've submitted it. The next card is the Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team Tin Promo. This card is honestly so cool. I have the Full Art Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX in a 10. I love the artwork of that. Pikachu just sat on Zekrom's wing. And I also love the artwork of this card. You've got Pikachu piggybacking on Zekrom's back. If we turn it around, we can see I can't really see any white defects on the card. So those white defects you'll see will be in the top loader on the sleeve, but I assure you that is not in the card, and the card is in immaculate condition, hence why I believe it'll get the PSA 10 grade. Next up is, okay, this is the normal half-art Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX. I love Pikachu as a Pokemon, I also love Zekrom. It's such a cool legendary, and Pikachu's just Pikachu, it's probably the most known Pokemon. It is Pokemon's cover poster boy Pokemon. Here's the back, centering pretty good, no defects on the card itself. That is why I also believe they'll get the PSA 10 grade. Next up, okay, this is the Rainbow Rare Mawile GX and what I believe is Team Up. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that set symbol in the bottom is Team Up. I love this card. I love the Rainbow Rares in general, especially the V-Maxes. The glitter on those cards is honestly insane. The back of this card is also pretty good. You can see the white next, it was on the top loader itself. But yeah, you can see the condition of the back is pretty good. There's a few white specks here, but I believe that is on the sleeve and it won't be on the card. I didn't pack this card myself. I remember buying online my Zacian ADP deck. When I took that deck apart, I realised how good condition this card was in, hence why I'm graded, and hence why I believe you'll get the best grade in town, the PSA 10. The next card of this submission is the promo Venusaur and Snivy GX tag team card. Now this is from the box. We actually got the play mat, which you see I'm using. Sorry. There's also a Charizard which came in this box, which I'm also submitting. But yeah, on the back of this card, you can see the centering is pretty good. I can't really see any defects on the card itself, and that is why I believe that this card, when it comes back, will get PSA 10, the gem mint grade, which every collector wants. Next up is the Charizard, which I just spoke about, the Charizard and Breaks and GX promo tag team card. This card is also so nice. The Charizard in the back with the Breakson at the front. I don't know why they specifically chose Breakson, because it's the middle evolution of Fennekin and the Delphox line. I would much prefer it to be Delphox, but hey, they chose Breakson, and I still love the card. On the back here, we can see it is a bit off center. Well, the front, this side is a lot thicker than that one. This could possibly get the 9 because of that centering, but the condition of the card itself is pretty good. There's a bit of a white defect up there, but I don't know, maybe that isn't on the actual card. It's been a while since I've taken these cards out of the top loader, so I predict that this card will get a 9, maybe if we're lucky, the 10. Next up is so this is the Lugia Holographic from Vivid Voltage. It's just a normal holo, but I love Lugia as a Pokemon. Gen 2 being my favourite generation, and Espeon being my favourite Pokemon of all time. And Lugia is one of the 5 Gen 2 legendaries. The other 4 being the 3 legendary beasts, Suicune, Entei, Raikou, and there's also Ho-Oh, Lugia's counterpart. On the back of this card, I believe there is a nick. Where was it? It was on one of the corners. Where is it? There is top left. There's a bit of a nick. Maybe that'll put the grade down and thus bring the price down. So I believe this Lugia Holographic will get the 9. Maybe if I'm lucky, the 10. Just like the Charizard, just as I predict the Charizard. Next up is the Dragonite Gx promo card. This is from the Dragon Majesty Premium Collection. I love Dragon Majesty. I think there's a few cool cards. That's being the Gold Ultra Necrozma GX, which is the rarest card from that set. This card, in the box you got this card from, you also got a promo Rainbow Rare Kingdra GX. But after looking at the condition of that card, it wasn't in as good as the Dragonite. As I just showed you the back, the Dragonite is in very good condition. The centering's almost perfect, and that is why I believe that this beautiful card will get the PSA 10. Next up, I've got, this is the Non-Holographic Charizard from Vivid Voltage. Now, a lot of people think that this card is actually holo, but it's not. I don't know why they made it just a regular rare. I don't know what caused Pokemon to do it. The holographic version of this card is exclusive to the Charizard theme deck. I've got one sealed here. The holo foil on this is cracked ice, since it is a theme deck promo, and all theme deck cards are cracked ice, just so you can tell the difference when looking and buying them. Fun fact, if you have a PSA graded cracked ice card, it'll say on the case cracked ice. I think that's pretty cool. I might crack open that theme deck and get the Charizard graded, but for the moment I'm keeping it sealed. This Charizard is in pretty good condition, and I think it will get the PSA 10. I hope so anyway. Next up, Stonjourner V-Max from the Sword and Shield base set. I like Stonjourner as a Pokemon. I think it's got a very unique design. When I was looking at the condition of this card, I realised it was very good, hence why I'm sending in. I just showed you the back, I'll show you it again. Centering, pretty good. This side, the right side, is a bit thicker than the left, but I still believe that is within the 60-40 distance for the PSA 10. So I do believe that this card will get the PSA 10 once it's came back. Next up, I have the Snorlax V-Max from the same set as the Stonjourner V-Max, which happens to be Sword and Shield base. I love Snorlax as a Pokemon. I think it's so cool, and it's VMAX or Gigantamax if you play the games. Idea of it is so cool. It's lying down, and on its stomach is this little tree. It's got its own little land. The idea of it's so cool. On the back we can see centering's pretty good, and the condition of this card is also very good. That is why I also believe we'll get the same grade which I predict for the Stonjourner V-Max, which is the PSA 10 Gem Mint. Now we're moving on to the rest, and oh, I love this card honestly. The Boltund V Full Art from Rebel Clash. Now Rebel Clash isn't a very popular set. I kind of agree with people when they say that. There are a few good cards which really stand out from the rest in this set. One of which being the Boltund V Full Art, the one I've got in my hands. I love most of the Sword and Shield V Full Arts. What they did with them was really cool, having each one with their own unique background. In Sun and Moon, the background was just based off what type the Pokemon was, so it kind of blended in, especially if it was a dragon type. They had this ugly poop colour background, it was just brown, not many people liked it. Onto the back of the Boltund V Full Art, I can't really see any nicks. If there are, they're very little. This card used to be in one of my decks. I used to play the Pikachu and Zekrom tag team deck. So if it has some corner damages, that would probably be why from all the shuffling. But I do predict this will get the Gem Mint 10 grade. Next up is the Torkoal V from Sword and Shield base. You're going to see a lot of Sword and Shield Full Art cards coming up. Like I just said with the Boltund, I really like what they did with them. The background on them really pops, and this Torkoal one is also very nice. If I go into the back here, there aren't any defects. This one was never in a deck of mine, so it wouldn't make sense for there to be, pardon me, shuffling damages. So that is why I believe that this card will get the Gem Mint 10. Next up is this is such a beautiful card, the Inteleon V Full Art. Probably my favourite out of all the V Full Arts that I'm sending in. I love it. I love Inteleon's pose. It stood there like James Bond. The name's Bond, James Bond. And then the colour of the background too, the beautiful pink, really does pop with Inteleon's blue colour. If we go into the back, there aren't any defects at all, and the centering is perfect. I really do hope and believe that this card will get the PSA 10, and if it does, this will be one of my favourite cards in my collection. Guys, let me know in the comments below if you want me to do a video on all my PSA graded cards. I've got a few and I'm adding some more valuable ones slowly, but yeah, I'm very excited for them, and I really do enjoy them. Next up is the Snorlax V Full Art from Sword and Shield base. This card, truly beautiful. For once we see Snorlax standing up and not asleep, which is contrary to its normal behaviour. It's running through some weird light place, I don't know where it's running on, but the background really does make Snorlax pop, just like the most of these Sword and Shield V Full Arts. If we go to the back, the condition is also very good. That white nick you see here and the white nick up there isn't on the card itself, I assure you. That'll just be on the sleeve. I kept this card in immaculate condition when I got it, just like most of my cards, because I loved it as soon as I saw it. And I predict that this card will get a PSA 10 Gem Mint. Next up is the beautiful Eldegoss V Full Art from Sword and Shield Rebel Clash. This is another one of the cards which really does stand out from the rest when it comes to looking at the Rebel Clash set list. It's also quite a playable card. You can pause the video now if you want to read it to Billy. Happy match. If we go to the back, we can see, yeah, that's pretty good. It did used to be in one of my decks. If there's a bit of shuffling damage, that would make a bit of sense. But I don't think there's enough to devalue the grade from a 10 to a 9. And I do believe that this card will get the PSA 10 once it's came back. Next up, this is such a beautiful card, the Eternatus V Full Art from its promo box. Now the way you got this wasn't in Darkness Ablaze like the normal Eternatus V and V-Max. You got this from the Eternatus V-Max Premium Collection. So along with a promo Eternatus V-Max. That card isn't in my collection, I don't really like it. The artwork isn't very different from the normal Eternatus V. The only difference is it's facing a different direction. If we turn it over, we can see the centering's pretty good. However, there's a bit of whitening in the corners. I don't think the camera will pick it up. Ignore this sellotape on the top loader. That's on the top loader, not the card. There is a bit of whitening on the top of this card. Don't think the camera will pick it up, because I did used to play the Eternatus V-Max deck, and obviously I was shuffling this around a lot. So yes, I believe that will get 9 maybe if we're super lucky a 10, and if we get a harsh grade it could possibly get the 8, but that's probably the worst outcome for that card. Next up, oh, this is such a beautiful card as well. This is the Umbreon and Darkrai GX promo card. This is honestly so cool. We see Umbreon and Darkrai here on the artwork going through the city. I love this card so much. No, this was not in my Eternatus V-Max deck. There's a bit of a nick in the bottom left, as you can see, so that may bring it down for a 9, but I'm going to send it in because I do believe it's got the shot of it getting the 10. Because you've got to remember, guys, when these cards are getting graded, it's people grading them so they can mess up. Sometimes a card which should be a 9 may get the 10, and vice versa. A card which should be 10 could unfortunately get your 9. But that is just the risk you have when sending in. But yeah, I believe this card will get a 9, maybe a 10. Next up, we've got the full art roller skater from Cosmic Eclipse. Guys, I promise I'm not a simp. I just love the artwork of this card. It's so cool. I think it's just one of the best full art trainers that have been made in a while. When we go to the back here, we can see centering is pretty good. I don't see any defects on the card itself. So that is why I believe that he'll get the PSA 10. And guys, remember, I am not a simp. Do not call me simp in the comment sections below. Next up, we have oh wow, what a card from Rebel Clash. The Rainbow Rare Bosses All Orders Giovanni Full Art. Look at this card, guys. Giovanni, the original bad guy from the original Pokemon game, Pokemon Red, Blue and Yellow. And he's doing that like, oh, don't take a picture of me pose, no paparazzi allowed. This card is probably the most expensive card from Rebel Clash, I'd say. I haven't looked at the Rebel Clash prices in a while, mainly because that set doesn't have my interest, if I'm being honest. This card was also in my deck, but when I was looking at it, I can't really see any defects on the card itself. If you guys can, let me know in the comments, because that could change whether I send it off or not. But I do believe that this card will get the PSA 10, and if it does, I will be so happy. I love Giovanni, one of the most iconic characters in the Pokemon franchise, and if that comes back in a 10, that would be a sick collection piece. Next up, oh wow, yet another Rainbow Rare trainer. This is the Professor's Research, Professor Magnolia, from the Sword and Shield base set. This card was also in my deck. In case you didn't know, Professor's Research is an extremely playable card. As you can see here, you can discard your hand and draw 7, so it's very good for me getting out of like sticky situations. If we look to the back here, we can see centering is a bit off top to bottom. The top is a bit thinner than the bottom, however, it might just get the 10, I don't know. It might not be in the 60-40 parameters, but I really hope it does. So that is why I believe this card will get a 9, but hopefully it'll get a 10. Now I know what card this is, and I'm so excited to show it to you guys. This is the Rainbow Rare Marnie from Sword and Shield base. Such a beautiful card. Marnie, probably everyone's favourite character, from Sword and Shield. It's so popular, especially in Japan. I can't wait for them to release the one where it's in its gym clothes as well, like from Shiny Star V. I don't know how they're going to do it over in England. It wasn't in our Shining Fates. I think they'll do a promo box. But if we go to the back here, we can see the condition is also immaculate. This card was in my deck. It's a very playable card. I'll flip it around if you want to pause and read its ability. It allows you to draw more cards, and it makes your opponent get rid of their current hand. So it can do well for you and do bad for your opponent, and let's face it, that's what you want in a game. And I believe that this card, when it comes back from being graded, will get the PSA 10 Gem Mint grade. Can't wait to see that one come back, guys, honestly. Next up is the Full Art Milo trainer card from Rebel Clash. This card is honestly so cool. Milo, he doesn't have a nose. Don't know why they didn't give him one. A bit like Charlie and Lola. Let me know if you watched that as a kid. I know I did. I loved it, honestly. But yeah, the condition of this card is pretty good. I'll flip it round to the back. Yeah, I can't really see any defects on it. The centering's a tiny bit thicker on the bottom than the top, but I do believe that is still in the 60-40 parameter. And I do believe that when this card comes back from PSA, you'll get the Gem Mint PSA 10 grade. Next up is the truly beautiful Leon Full Art from Vivid Voltage. This card is so good. The lights in the back, the night sky, and then his purple hair and his red cloak really does pop. The card here is all I expected to see play, but I haven't seen it many in a few decks. It just allows you to do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. If we flip it round to the back, we can see top is a bit thicker than the bottom, but I think this could still get the 10. I do believe that is just on the 60-40 parameter. Back centering doesn't matter as much as front centering, but we can see that the front is also a bit thicker on the top, skinnier on the bottom. But I do think this card could get the 10, but it might come back to 9. But 9s are still alright. Next up is the Dragonite V-Max from Battle Styles. Now getting to some more recent cards. Battle Styles, on the day I'm recording this, is the most recent set. It introduced single and rapid strike cards. I've got some videos on the channel of me opening some battle styles. We've got some pretty good ultra rares, so make sure to check them out after you've watched this video. But yeah, Dragonite VMAX. Dragonite is a fan favourite Pokemon. It's very useful in the game as well, not like the card game. However, it is also very useful in the card game with its ability, and people do like to pair it with the Bronzong from Battle Styles and the Zacian V. But in the actual Sword and Shield video game, you can use this guy to fly around the map instead of having to slowly walk everywhere. If we look at the back, centering, pretty good. No nicks in the corners, and it doesn't have any silvering issues like Shining Fates does. And I've seen a few of the V cards from Battle Styles have the same silvering. So I do believe that this card will get the PSA 10, and I'd love that, honestly. Next up is the pre-release Bronzong Promo from Battle Styles, as you can see here. People like to pair this card up with the Corviknight because you can move the energy from any Pokemon around. And then you can use Cheryl to heal all damage off it, which is honestly cool. This card I got in my pre-release box. I hadn't started the YouTube channel when I opened my pre-release box. I wish I did. I pulled an honestly amazing card, which you guys will see because it is in this submission, and you'll probably know the card when I show you it because it is honestly such a good card. This card, it's a bit off center, top a tiny bit thicker than the bottom, but I do believe that is in the 60-40 parameter for the PSA 10 German grade. If I remember correctly, this is another Bronzong. I'll quickly show you the condition on the back. I'm not going to talk about this one since it is the same card. This one, centering is also pretty good on it, and I do think that will also get the 10. Next up is the Empoleon V from Battle Styles. As we can see, Rapid Strike card. Empoleon, one of my favourite Pokemon. And the ability is quite interesting. I think it'll see a bit of play. I've seen some people teching it into the Zacian ADP deck as if that deck wasn't powerful enough. But yeah, you can pause the video if you want to read it. It's very interesting, stopping a lot of abilities. But I'm going to flip it around to the back now. We can see centering pretty good. No whitening on the edges. No silvering issue like I've seen on some of the V cards from this set. And that is why I do believe that this will get the PSA 10 Gem grade when it returns. Next up, the Tyranitar V Single Strike, as you can see, from the exact same set as the Empoleon Battle Styles. Tyranitar, one of my favourite Pokemon. It's from Gen 2, as I previously stated, my favourite generation. Pokemon Crystal being my favourite Pokemon game of all time. I was so happy when that game came to the virtual consoles. But back to the card, it's very nice artwork. The alternate art is also phenomenal. It's not very playable here. You know, you have to discard cards from your deck. I don't think it'll be worth it. If we go to the back, condition pretty good. Centering pretty perfect. There are no nicks or silvering issues, and that is why I do believe this card, when it returns, will get PSA 10 Gem Mint, baby. Yeah, next up is the Golden Level Ball Trainer. Now, I did pull this from my pre-release promo, but this isn't the card I was on about. There was a much, much better card which I pulled, one of the most expensive cards in the set, and I was so happy when I pulled it. I loved it. I'm going to show you guys it. I think you'll love it too. Back to the Level Ball. It's a very playable card. You can pause it there if you want to read it. But yeah, I'm grading it because I think it's a cool card. Centering, pretty good. This is a tiny bit thicker than that side, but it's definitely within the 60-40 parameter. No silvering issues either, and that's why I do believe this card will get the Gem Mint 10 grade. Next up, oh wow, love this card. Rapid Strike Mustard. I see Rapid Strike here. This card, very powerful in the Rapid Strikes decks. Pause it if you want to read the ability, but I just love the artwork. Mustard's such a cool character in the Isle of Armor DLC. He's the one who teaches you all the stuff. I'll flip it around to the back. The centering is a bit off, this side being thicker than that side, so that could possibly bring it down to a 9, but we never know. So that's why I'm sending it. So I think this card will get PSA 10, maybe if we're unlucky, the 9. Next up is the Shiny Cramorant V from the Shining Fates Tin promo. This card, so cool. Love Cramorant as a Pokemon, and they gave it this cool little orange bird as it's shiny. I'll flip around to the back now, centering pretty good. It's in good condition. Pokemon have swapped up the way that promo cards are stored in the tins and boxes, so that certainly does make it getting out easier, and you don't end up damaging the card, which did happen with a lot of the older boxes. I do think this card will get the 10, and I'd love it if it does so. I don't know if it'll focus on the camera, but when the Hidden Fates reprint happened, there was a defect where some of the texture was missing from the card. Unfortunately, I don't know if the camera's picking up, it's not looking like it is. That's happened here, so some of the texture is missing from this card, but I don't think that affects the grade. I hope not anyway. Next up is the, oh wow, love Espeon, love Dioxis. This is the Espeon Dioxis GX Tag Team promo card. This is from the Premium Collection. I love this promo. I love Espeon just stood there while Espeon stood there while Dioxis just comes flying out the ground. However, if we take it to the back, we can see a couple of nicks, just because the way this card was stored in the box it came with was honestly atrocious. I don't know why Pokemon ever held it like that in the first place. There's a massive nick up there. That'll definitely bring it down to a 9. There's no way the grader can miss that. But yeah, I'm so happy Pokemon have now swapped up the way they hold the cards, but unfortunately this one was not stored properly by Pokemon, and that is why I do believe we'll get the PSA 9. If we're the most lucky person on the world, they'll get the 10, but I wouldn't get my hopes up. Next up is the Espeon from the Battle Academy deck. Now the original one is from Lost Thunder, as you can see from the set symbol. But the way you tell this from the Battle Academy is because of the Mewtwo promo right there. In the Battle Academy box, if you're unfamiliar, I'll quickly sum up the contents. You've got 3 decks, a Charizard, a Pikachu, Raichu one, and a Mewtwo. And this one is from the Mewtwo, as you can see by the stamp. If you have a card from the Raichu, we'll have a Raichu stamp, and if you have a card from the Charizard deck, you'll have the Charizard stamp. I love Espeon, trying to get a PSA graded of every Espeon, so I need this one. I think this could get the 10. I don't think there are any defects. There's the tiniest defect in the top left, but that shouldn't bring it down. And I do believe this will get the PSA 10. I do have this card yet again, and I'm submitting a second one just in case. I won't talk about this too much because I did talk about this one. But this card also in pretty good condition. Tiny nick in the bottom left, but I do believe that'll still allow it to get the PSA 10 Gem Mint grade. Next up, this is the card that I was talking about from my Battle Styles pre-release box. Guys, I promise I'm not a simp, but I just straight up love this card. It's the Karina's Focus Rapid Strike Rainbow Rare Trainer Full Art. This card is beautiful. When I pulled it, I was screaming so loud. My mum came in my room and screamed at me because she was having mates round, and yeah, it didn't go well. This card, honestly, is so sick. I love it to bits, honestly. It's one of the most playable cards in the game. You can read the ability there. It just allows you to draw a card until you have 6 in your hand, and it is also one of the most expensive. I'll flip it round, centering pretty good, doesn't have any defects in the corners, and it's cut well, doesn't have any silvering. So that is why I believe and hope this will get the Gem Mint grade. On to the final card of the submission, and this is definitely one of, if not my favourite card from the submission. This is the one and only Shiny Ditto from Shining Fates. Honestly, such an adorable card. Can't wait to get this one back. I love it so much. This is probably my favourite card from Shining Fates. I love Shiny Ditto's blue form. It looks so cool. I need to get the V-Max as well. I'll flip it round to the back. A lot of the Shining Fates shiny cards have silvering issues where the printers just cut them wrongly, but thankfully somehow this doesn't. This card centered perfectly, no defects in the corners and no silvering issue, and that is why I was so happy to pull it, and when I saw that I was also over the moon. And that is why I do believe that this card, the final card of today's submission, will get the Gem Mint 10 PSA grade. But yeah guys, that's all from me. That's all the cards I'm sending off to PSA in today's video. I hope you liked them. I know I loved them. I can't wait to get them back, and I will be filming them when I get back as a PSA returns video. So I hope I see you guys there. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment, let me know what your favourite card from today's submission is. As I said, mine is the shiny Ditto from Shining Fates. Just look at that cute boy. Honestly, so adorable. Little boy, man. But yeah, that's it for me. I've been Alien ESP, you've been fantastic viewers, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.